We welcome to the show Lee Thompson of Madness. How's it going, Lee?
Up and down Tower Bridge, you know the score. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. So the Lee Thompson Ska Orchestra is performing at Under the Bridge in London on the 16th of May. How did the Ska Orchestra come together in the first place?
It was probably over 3 years ago now. Our trumpet player, he's not actually in the band. He deps now and again, but Joe Auckland. There's so many of them, I forget half their names. He suggested it to us, over 3 years ago, and I was like, I thought, it's hard enough getting cheeks and me butt together, let alone 12 other bods. So it took a while, and then eventually in April 11, should I say, we finally got various people together and done a debut at the Prince Albert, just under the bridge in Brighton.
How did that go? Was that good?
People thought that was on candid camera. It was that unorganised sort of thing. It really went well. Got up. We was recording just along the way there. So next time we went back, we thought, well, might as well get paid for a rehearsal. So we jumped up, and it literally was stopping halfway through songs and going, can we put a middle eight in there, or maybe a little key change there, and people looking about for hidden cameras. But no, it went quite smoothly. Really, really enjoyable. Those pub gigs are, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're it was all very casual, and the promoter fella, can't think of his name, he got the hours in, paid his cash in hand, and thank you very much, and checks in the post. Yeah, great.
Yeah. So how many members of the band are there? Roughly.
There's 11. There's 11. Sometimes there's 12. On one occasion there was 13 with two trombonists. But we're settling at 11 at the moment.
Is it all orchestral, or is there singers as well?
Shall I tell you the lineup?
Yeah, that'd be great.
We got time?
Yeah, of course.
You got a couple of hours. Let's start from the rhythm section. We've got Rue on drums. We've got Mark Bedford on bass. Guitars, Kev Burdett. On keyboards, we've got Seamus Bain, who's worked with many celebs. Louis Vors also on piano. Weighted keys. I better not forget Daz Smash. Half Michael Bublé and half Ches Smash, he calls himself. He's on rattlers and the percussion and backing vocals. Sometimes he does a lead vocal of Many Rivers to Cross, which is not bad, he's pretty good. On trombone, we have T-Bone Bob Dowell. On baritone sax, we have Steve Turner, sometimes Steve Hamilton. There's a lot of Steves, you've got to name them. There's Mr. Pink, there's Mr. Yellow, there's Steve Purple, and Steve Black. Terry Edwards on alto sax. Have I missed anyone out? Trumpet is Steve White, and sometimes Joe Auckland, the fellow that originally come up with this project. And have I missed anyone? Oh yeah, myself on tenor sax and lead vocals.
So just on the saxophone, who are some of the saxophonists you admire?
Well, in more recent years, David Payne from Enduring the Blockheads, and Andy Mackay from many moons ago, who I sort of used to play along to, used to play along to a lot of black R&B from the 50s, so it'd be, Fats Domino, Coasters, in the jazz department, Ben Webster, a little bit of Charlie Parker, but, these two, I couldn't keep up with that fella, but who can? But I quite like the style of Ben Webster, and of course, not forgetting King Curtis. Holy Joe, I just read a story about him, only that recently, that his tragic death back in 1971 on the steps of a New York, outside a New York apartment. He was moving an air conditioning unit, and there was a couple of people in his way on the steps, a couple of wrong-uns, and sort of a bit of a fight broke out, and he got stuck.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what a talent in his prime. But yeah, absolutely, he played a lot with done a lot of sessions for those Black American acts in the 50s, 60s.
Are you quite into jazz then as well? You like a bit of jazz?
Yeah, not too much of it. Thank you very much. No, it's, it just depends what mood I'm in. I'm very particular. I mean, the John Coltrane type stuff and the Dizzy Gillespie, fantastic. He's, fantastic genre of music, but I'm more, R&B, doo-wop, Motown, reggae,
and Ska, of course.
Wait, don't forget the Ska.
Yeah. So, who are some of your favourite ska and reggae artists?
Obviously Prince Buster, Toots and the Maytals. He's got a voice. What a fantastic voice coming out of from a little fella.
That's Frederick Toots Hibbert, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. A little stocky stash of bull terrier, ball of energy. And Jimmy Cliff, fantastic lyricist, who I admire greatly. Of course, Bob Marley. From further back, Tommy McCook, Scatterlights, of course, Rico, and whatever floats your boat.
And I suppose you do a lot of their stuff with the Ska Orchestra, don't you?
Yes, yeah. Not enough, as it goes. Yeah, I mean, getting this album together, this Benevolence of Sister Mary, really it was to, I was covering songs mainly by the black artists. I mean, there's one or two. I think there's a track on the Midnight Rider by Greg Allman, who's a white American writer. Argentinian fella who wrote Mission Impossible. But the majority of the songs were written by those black artists that probably never saw a penny of the publishing then, and hopefully they will this time. And, that's the main reason for doing it is, a bit of payback. They've taught me a lot.
A lot of them singers, I've spoken to quite a few of them. Quite a lot of them were exploited, really. I mean, back then. Very
much. I mean, yeah, right up until, people being exploited. I mean, even now. But, I mean, great, hats off to the sort of, the punk rock era. They sort of opened a hell of a lot of doors. I mean, certainly without them, I don't think, we'd be where we are now. There's people getting turned over left, right and centre, in the mid-70s, let alone the mid-60s. There was all loopholes left, right and centre. But, a lot of areas have been tightened up now. And, I've certainly made sure mine, the publishing for this, if we sell a copy or two, is going to go to them. So even thinking about doing a part 2 now, the second album. I mean, it was that enjoyable making. But, we see what turns out. I'd like to do some, ultimately, I'd like to do some original stuff.
Is the album out yet, or when's it coming out?
June the 3rd, it's planned for. It's up on Amazon, apparently. Someone's put on eBay the acetates. The acetates of the album. I mean, I don't even think there are acetates. I mean, the geezer's talking about his acetate. Darren, or Daz, Darren fooled him in the band. Apparently he surfs the web in the wee hours. Spotted a promotional copy on eBay, which was swiftly taken down. But fair enough. Where was we? So 3rd June. It's up on Amazon. It's I think it's about 12 quid, 13 quid or something. So get on that site and buy yourself a copy. And let's give a bit back.
Yeah.
Give a bit back, you snacks.
So I have to ask you about Madness. How did you first join?
Crying out loud. Do you want me to hang up now? Oh, my God.
You knew I'd ask you about Madness, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, it's all part and parcel, goes hand in hand.
How did you first join the group?
When did they first join me? I first joined in, it was around about 78 was the first gig in a friend's garden. So yeah, I mean, I got together with Chrissy Boy and Barson as way back as early as 76. I originally had a clarinet. I got Chrissy Boy a guitar. We popped into the shop and quickly changed the old price tag on it because we couldn't really afford the 50 quid they wanted. So he got himself a guitar for 15 quid. We all went round the mics and started rehearsing around there, and then the punk thing come along, and then Bedders and the boys joined, Woody, Suggs, Carl, and whoever else. Who's the other fella? No, John Asler was our drummer, manager, singer. Anyway, let's not go into that. And the first gig was sort of June, around about June '78. And within a year, we were signed to Two-Tone and riding on the wings of.
Yeah, you were first called, what was it, the
North London Invaders, but there was another band around that came about, and we had to change our name because they were signed up. So we changed. Mike Barston suggested Morris and the Miners, and as Suggs said, he didn't want to be Morris, and we certainly didn't want to be the Miners or whatever it was. So we threw a few names around, the Big Dippers, the Soft Shoe Shufflers, a few other names, and then we settled on what was right at the end of our nose. Chrissy Boy suggested a track from our little collection, and that was the Prince Buster Madness, which we was all like, there it is. And he was like, no, I was only joking. But of course it stuck.
Yeah, it definitely
But
did.
it does.
And are you amazed all these years later that you're still going strong, you're still performing all over the place, and everything's great?
Yeah, I mean, as its ups and downs, I mean, I'm, humbled, that we've got, a really die-hard bunch of fans, haven't we? We sort of had a break in 85, 86, and that was it. We all sort of went and got proper jobs. You'll have to read my book if I ever get it together. Came back in with the Madstock in 92. Chrissy Boy and myself started up a little band in 89 with half a dozen able chums, and we started the band the Nutty Boys, which went on for 4 years until the Madstock came around, and then it sort of fizzled out a bit. I mean, it had to take a back seat, or didn't have to take a back seat, but the Madness thing, financed. I managed to keep the bailiffs away by doing the Madstock, which was come in handy. Beats living in a tent, possibly. And the sort of the Nutty Boys sort of limped on, and then finally, I mean, the last gig we'd done was probably was at the 100 Club. That was sort of half a dozen years ago. Fantastic. And I intend to fire that back up when the time is right, because there's a whole bunch of songs there, collection of songs that are just collecting dust. I mean, the Madness thing's still a joy. I mean, I've taken a bit of a sabbatical from it because I want to get this out of my system. Can juggle with both. The promotion for Wee Wee CC is still going on. Still sort of, there's stuff being done in Europe, and there's going to be some stuff done this year. I don't know if I'm going to be involved in it because I'm really sort of knuckling down with this Ska Orchestra thing. I mean, I'm sure we can fit both in. If the band Madness decide ever to record again, I'm really not sure about that. But never say never.
Well, you're going to be under the bridge in London. That's at Stamford Bridge, isn't it?
Oui, aye. Don't forget to wear your Arsenal. No, I'll have my Man United shirt on. That's good.
Yeah, so that's happening on the 16th of May. Is it the first time you've gigged there?
I popped down there. Why did I pop down there? This fella Sean Flowerdew wanted us to put over a show on there. I've done a few gigs with this promoter fella Sean Flowerdew. Lovely bloke. He has a lot
Sean.
to do with this.
The Ska Festival in London.
Ska International, yeah. We've done a few gigs. The Ska Orchestra have done several gigs with him around the country. A few venues. The Grand Clapham, where Owen Gray jumped up with us, and he's a proper, old school charmer. I think he released the first record on this, so they said, was he released the first single on Studio One, and he jumped up and couldn't get him off. I mean, he's a right old charmer. He's a right groover. I just stepped to one side, let him take over. I was playing with my Super Ball on stage. And that was a fantastic gig at the Grand Clapham. And then we done one with him up in Newcastle on Halloween, year before last. Jesus, how time flies. And he jumped up again. I couldn't get him off. Again, he's like, he was only meant to be up there for 2 or 3 minutes, so I went up to the bar and had myself a JD and Coke.
A refreshment, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, the staff were winning, Rome. So the staff got us a what's his name, and I let him sort of get that out of his system, the several minutes that he was up there, and I thought, no, this is taking them. So I went back up on stage, and I went up to Bedders and said, you know, what do you do in a situation like this? This is all new to me. And I was advised to go and get the stage manager. So I went over to the stage manager. I said, well, what do you get him off? You know, God bless him. I mean, he's a, you know, proper old, you know, saucy old charmer. And this sort of, you know, those sticks, those white walking sticks that come out and sort of grab you around the neck. That sort of appeared from the side of the... he was kindly sort of, you know, ushered off stage, and we was allowed to carry on. And I thought, well, that's a bit of a strange one. But what's going on here? And then a couple of other fellas, we got our stage invaded. I'm plugging all my gigs, you do realise this.
Right.
Band on the Wall in Manchester's on the 24th, if anyone's floating about there. On the 24th of, what's his name, May. On the 25th we've got Newcastle, and then back down to the Smoke.
Yeah.
No,
you're also DJing at the Skinhead reunion, aren't you?
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, when's that? What date's that? Oh, that's through Simon Lawsey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Lawsey, show us your legs, show us your legs, show us your legs. I mean, I'm meeting up with Lawsey. I'm meeting up with him Saturday week. There's a Jukebox Madness, which I think is, I don't know if it's actually the Jukebox Madness thing, because that's very 50s rock and roll, but it's at your racecourse in Brighton, which is on Saturday week. 27th, I believe that is, but yeah, I'm down for that, so I'll be bumping into Simon then.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us on the show, Lee. And
well, thanks for having us.
That's all right.
Yeah, very kind. And maybe I'll see you at this Skinhead reunion.
Oh yeah, you probably will, because I'm doing a set there as well. So yeah, I'll probably see you there.
Oh, you won't miss me. I've got a wide centre party. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye now.